Hi there, the latest on immigration and citizenship debate when it comes to babies who are born to parents who are illegally here. Let's talk about this thing, guys. I think this is very important. I think so many people get so emotional. They get so emotional, right? And they don't look at the law and they don't look at the facts, right? You have to look at the law. You have to look at the facts. It's okay to feel, it's okay to have empathy, but the law is the law. And after all, we as Americans are affected no matter what, right? No matter what side of the table you stand on. So let me get into it, right? The latest on immigration and citizenship debate, particularly regarding the federal judge seeking clarity on birthright citizenship and the executive order. Now, imagine coming to America, right? You're not legal. You have broken the law. You've came over here illegal. But in your mind, you're saying, if I get pregnant or if I marry an American, that's going to give me some type of citizenship. But the original is that you broke the law coming over here, right? So you decide, I'm going to get pregnant because if I get pregnant, I believe that this is going to be able to help my baby stay here because it says that if a baby is born here, then I get citizenship. And surely they're not going to separate me from my baby. And surely I get to stay with my baby. So then, therefore, I get citizenship somehow, or at least I get to stay by association, right? How would you handle that if you were the president of the United States of America? Do you feel that Donald Trump's order is correct, or do you feel it's not correct, and why? You guys start the conversation, right? Just start the conversation. It is 2025. Many people are still looking through the lens of race and not realizing that the law is the law. The 14th Amendment of the United States of America. The 14th Amendment says that if you are born here, you are a citizen. But a new executive order from the Trump administration is trying to change that, saying that some babies born in the US should not get citizenship if their parents are undocumented or on temporary visas. Y'all, I'm coming and I'm coming with the goods. So I want you guys to hold on, okay? So okay? Let's just say you're in Macy's, right? I love to use these examples because you really have to understand the truth. Let's just say you're in Macy's and you know that Macy's do samples for perfume. And they usually have bottles, right? And usually it's the perfume of your favorite stars, maybe Mary J. Blige, Beyonce. It could be Celine Dion. It could be anybody, right? So you say in your mind, "Oh, I don't have no money to get that new Beyonce thing out or to get that new Taylor Swift perfume out." And it is the bomb, right? It's the bomb. But I ain't got no money to really get it. So you know what? I'm just gonna drive through the mall on my way to such, and I'm gonna spray myself down. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna get that perfume. I'm gonna get that smell. Believe it or not, guys. I know you say, "Oh, that's just drastic." No, there are people that do that. They do that, guys. Now, there's one thing to have a little package, you just take the samples, right? But there are people who use the bottles and they actually take the entire bottle. Now, let me ask you a question. Do you believe that there is a difference, that even though the sample is free, that there's a difference between you spraying yourself with the sample, because you don't have to buy. There's no law that says in Macy's you have to buy. That's why it's called a sample. Do you believe that there's a difference between just spraying yourself, smelling it, knowing you're not going to buy it, you just want to smell it, versus you take the whole bottle and stick it in your purse? What do you think? Even though Macy says that there's no law that you haven't, that you can use these for free, right? But there's a fine line, isn't it? There's a fine line because you know that you're not supposed to take the entire bottle, stick it in your purse, and walk out. That's called theft. It's a sample for everybody. You can spray yourself up and down and smell good and spray it in the air and walk through it. They don't mind. You understand what I'm saying? They don't mind. It's free. It's for everybody. What they do mind is that you don't stick the sample in your purse because it's a bottle and you walk off with it. That would be considered theft. Now, I want you to understand it's one thing to illegally come to this country. You illegally come, you know you're not supposed to be here, you take that chance. I'm not saying that you don't have valid reasons for why you came. Maybe you wanted a better job, maybe you were suffering. I don't know. I'm not you, but I do understand humanity. So people do different things for different reasons. But at the end of the day, the law still states no matter what country, America, or whoever, it is illegal for you to come to this country and you did not come legally. So then you decide in your mind, just like the Macy's thing, well, I know I'm not supposed to be here, but if I go in and get pregnant, or if I just marry somebody, that's going to give me some citizenship, right? Now, do you believe that it's okay to do that? Or do you believe you're still breaking the law? You're premeditating it out, you're thinking about it, you're still breaking the law. That is different from if you come over here on a visa or on a passport, you're here for some years, you work, you and your man do the do, or you and your boyfriend do the do, and you get pregnant. There are different variables when it comes to this 14th Amendment. And this is what people are not understanding because people get so emotional, they get so tied up. There are variables. You understand what I'm saying? And those variables, I'm sorry, when you're sitting down and you're discussing these things, they need to be considered because it really is wrong for a whole bunch of people to just come over here and say, well, I'm just going to use getting pregnant. I'm just going to get pregnant. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm just going to give me some citizenship, or I'm going to be able to stay and you're not going to be able to separate me from my baby when you know you've broken the law and you came illegally. Do you understand? That is different because what that is doing, that is affecting Americans. Do you understand that? Like that's affecting us as a whole. Like we have so many resources in our country. Every country has so many resources. Every country got so much of a budget for each state. Every country got so much of this for each. So when all of these things are happening, it is actually taking away from Americans. I don't care what nobody say it is. So if you are granted a budget for your city and your state, maybe 300 million, but you got a whole bunch of people, 1.2 or maybe 500,000 or 600,000 illegal people here, and they're getting the resources. That's taking away from the Americans who are supposed to be getting it. Sorry, but it's the truth. It's the truth. And it's illegal. You understand what I'm saying? It's illegal. So sometimes I know that we get emotional. I know that people say, put yourself in somebody else's shoes. That's right. Put yourself in that person's shoe. And at the end of the day, no matter how you feel, you are still breaking the law. You're still breaking the law. Now, if it was me, I ain't gonna lie. Just because I'm breaking the law don't mean I'm not human. I want what I want. And I want to come here, and I snuck here. If I could have got citizenship, I would have got it, but I didn't get it. So I snuck up in here, and I'm plotting and planning. I'm doing what I'm trying to do so I can stay. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm still human. I still want what I want. But at the end of the day, even if I put myself in those shoes, I have still broken the law. So there are different variables, right? And then those who are here for periods of times, maybe for work study, visas, this, you have boyfriends, you have girlfriends, things happen. You know what I'm saying? That's even a variable. People have babies, they have sex, things happen, and should that child have to go back when that parent has to go back? You understand what I'm saying? If the parent has to go back, why not the child not go with the parent? What would make a person think that just because you're here temporarily, now you should be able to stay just because you have a child? So either way it go, it's looking at it from the perspective of the law. Now, once you get citizenship, then you and your baby are entitled regardless. You understand what I'm saying? But then there's still another variable. The 14th Amendment states that have a baby here, the baby has citizenship. And so I don't know through interpretation how they want to interpret this law, but I don't believe that that law was originally made. Now, I could be wrong, but I don't believe that that law was originally made for people who would come here and just have babies and just say, okay, this baby is going to afford me to stay here. Or if I come here and I marry someone, then I'm just going to afford. I don't think that law was really referring to that. I don't think that that's what the so-called forefathers or whatever they call them, or the people who put that constitution together and the amendments together. I just don't think that that's what they were thinking when they put that together. I just don't think that that's what they thinking. And I think that that's what the administration is looking at this time. Some would argue that he's wrong, all because they don't like him. He's prejudiced anyway, no matter what people say. The one thing I can say is this, you guys, and I'm going to say this very truthfully. He didn't hide what he was going to do. He told you that he was going to do that. He told you up front. So they keep saying, well, those Mexicans and those people ought to be ashamed of themselves. They voted for him, but he didn't hide it. He said that he was going to deport. That was going to be one of his main things, that he was going to deport people back. You understand what I'm saying? He's been talking about the wall for years. So you guys, it's not like he hid what he was doing. Uh, did they vote because they got delusional and thinking that maybe if I vote for him, that he won't do such a thing? Well, he told you. That's just like you dating someone and they said, no, I don't really like you like that. But I still want to do you. And you're thinking, well, maybe if I put that whip appeal on them, I can make them stay. Well, you're delusional. They already told you up front it was a no. So then when they don't want you, then you get mad and you get frantic and you act a fool. But they had already told you that they didn't want to date you up front. I mean, not date you, that they didn't want to be with you up front. They just wanted to do the do. And sometimes we got to listen to what people say up front. Now, to be a one thing if they told you something and then they deceived you, that's one thing. But if they tell you up front, that's another thing, you know, you know. So take that into consideration too, also, guys. That's why I say everybody gets emotional, but they're not taking, and we all do, because we all feel. I'm pretty sure if that was me, I ain't gonna even lie to you. I'd be out there doing the same. Guys, I'm not gonna even lie to you. I'm not gonna be out there saying I broke the law. I understand where Trump coming from. I broke the law. No, I'm not gonna be doing that. I'm human. Human. I'm gonna be like, no, my baby, I don't. My baby deserves to be here, and I do too. But I'm gonna fight whatever battle I need to fight. I'm gonna say whatever I need to say. I'm gonna do whatever I need to do because I want what I want as a human. That's humanity, y'all. We want what we want. Okay. Now, let's get into some facts here. The federal judge seeks clarity on potential deportation. So on June 30th, 2025, as you know, the U.S. District Judge Deborah Boardman asked Trump administration whether it intends to deport U.S. born children of undocumented or temporary residents if born after February 19th, and not party to ongoing lawsuits, right? The DOJ, which is the Department of Justice, Attorney Brad Rosenberg responded that such deportations are not intended, calling the question hypothetical. He emphasized that agencies are working on implementation guidelines. Judge Boardman has asked for a written summary from the government outlining exactly what it can and can't do after the Supreme Court's recent interim ruling. Plaintiffs' attorneys highlighted that the incredibly stress and anxiety and fear affecting families, and noted that deportation isn't their only concern, something that they describe as irreparable harm. This would be my advice. There should be a law put in place that if you're here for over a certain period of time, whether it's on a visa or whether it's on I don't know, a visa or whatever. I don't know how many years they give you. I probably should have checked into that. But let's just say you're here for a few years. You are not going to stop mating with your mate just because of that, right? So you may have some children. And I think after being here for such a long time as that, I think you should be granted citizenship after a while, right? You have proven yourself. You've proven that you want to work. You've proven that you like America. You're cordial with America and you want to do the right thing and you blend in with citizens. So I think that's one variable, right? I also believe that if you snuck into this country and you have the motives of that you're going to marry someone, and they can easily find that out because they can look into people records to see what they've been doing so that you could have babies and all this kind of do stuff. At the end of the day, you are illegal. So there should be some guidelines put into place and some laws that put into place that says no, if you are deported, your children have to be deported back with you. They are citizens for where you come from. And I think that should cross across borders, be into agreements with borders, and be understood by borders. Just like you have international trade, you can also have international agreements to understand that when someone sneaks out of their place into another place illegally and they end up having a child, that child is still not a citizen. And legally, that child comes from where that parent comes from. I think that it is simple. I think we look for all these like hard things. It's not that hard. It's simple. It's simple. You will use your judgment, you will use your understanding, and it makes it simple. You understand what I'm saying? It makes it simple. That way the child won't be torn away from the parent, and that way the child will be with the parent back into their country. They're here illegal in first place. But also if you've been here for a long period of time, you've been working, you've been dedicated, you've been paying bills here, you've been paying taxes here, I think you should become a citizen after a while. So I think it's just balancing out with judgment, right? It's just balancing things out with judgment. To me. I don't know about you guys. What are you guys' thoughts? What are your opinions? Again, I give the facts and then I just give the commentary. We talk about it. We comment. Commentary, we comment. What do you guys think about that? What do you guys think? So again, up to date on June 27th, the Supreme Court ruled 6-3 in Trump's versus CASA, stating that the lower courts cannot issue nationwide injunctions. They can only block policies for those directly involved in lawsuits. Okay? The ruling did not address the constitutionality of the executive order. It's a procedural decision. Thus, the merits are still undecided by the courts. As a result, a patchwork has emerged, guys. And in some states with lawsuits, the order remains blocked, while in others, not parties to litigation, right? And it could take effect. So just so you guys can be updated on this and you guys can know, right? And knowing that the federal judge is seeking clarity from the Trump administration on whether birthright citizenship order means should babies be deported. You've heard my commentary. What's your commentary? What's your comments? What's your thoughts? Put it in the comments below. Let's make sure that we giving some intelligent dialogue, not fighting, not being emotional. You may add how you feel, your value. Someone that can add how they feel, their value. Put all that stuff together. You really get to see how the world is thinking, how the world is feeling. You understand what I'm saying? So that's my take on that. And I am going to leave you with that. I'm going to leave you with that. I'm going to let you discuss that. That's what's going on at this time. And I just want to let you know why this matters, though. The order challenges the 14th Amendment, right? Which has a long guaranteed citizenship to anyone that is born in the U.S., regardless of parental status. Legal experts warn of chaotic enforcement, potential family separations, and constitutional crisis if the order is implemented unevenly across states. You have heard what I had to say. I think it's simple. I think if people been here for a long period of time and they're here on visas, they're here on education or whatever they think may be, and they've been here for a long, long period of time, you're not going to stop mating with your partners and your families and your friends. You may possibly get pregnant, right? Or you may get married along the way, right? Become a citizen. It's natural. Your kids become a citizen. And if you have snuck over here, you illegally over here, it is simple. I don't know why they keep saying it's so hard. No, put some legal things in place. Listen, the Constitution is not so fixed to where you can't think. You understand how to think. It wasn't originally made for that where people could just jump over and do any and everything. They can't just be breaking the law. So you'll put a stipulation or something in place that says, hey, this is how it's going to be done. We're still going to go by the amendment. We still believe in the amendment. But if you're breaking the law, this is not in alignment with the amendment. You're breaking the law. So you put a stipulation in place that says that you need to be deported. We won't separate your children from you. We don't have to be a cruel nation like that. Your children go back with you. And then you make sure that that stipulation reaches those borders and you're in agreement with those different borders that those children belong to where they came from because the people illegally came over here in the first place. To me, it's that simple, guys. I don't know if it's that simple to y'all in Washington, but it's that simple to me, Miss Washington. Yes, my last name is Washington, guys. I was born Olushina, but the courts changed my name to Washington. So I just thought I'd give you my Washington input. How about that? Okay, off of that, and we're going to cover, and I'm sorry, I'm going to cover the next story, Trump's beautiful big bill. Oh, guys, there's so much going on about that. So much going on, so much discussion, right? Whoo. Some agree, a whole lot of folks disagree. Let's dig into it, right? Check me over at the next segment. Guys, like and share and of this video. Subscribe if you have not subscribed already. If there's anything you have gotten out of this, please share it with other people. Please share. You never know how you're helping someone else, right? You never know what you bring to the table. You never know what your insight is bringing to other people, right? I like to educate us so we can stay up to date on the actual facts of what's being said. But I like for us to have discussions too, because we're not robots. We're not glued to what the facts are. We feel, we think, we're humans, we're Americans. Guys, you have a great one. Let's head over to the next segment.